When you picture Italy, what comes to mind? You're probably thinking of ancient ruins, right? Renaissance art, those rolling Tuscan hills, maybe a perfect plate of pasta. And look, those things are timeless for a reason, but they only tell part of the story.
See, underneath that classic surface, a totally different Italy is being built. We're talking about a nation with ambitious, future-focused projects, quiet revolutions happening inside the home, and some really complex social paradoxes. So today, we're going to peel back those layers and see the real modern Italy.
Here's how we're going to break it down. We'll look at the massive projects laying the groundwork for the future, then zoom into the personal changes happening inside Italian homes. After that, we'll tackle a fascinating economic paradox. And finally, we'll see how the very idea of made in Italy is being completely reinvented.
All right, first up, the grand vision. Italy is making some massive, long-term bets on its future, and it's starting with the very arteries of the country, its railways.
And the scale of this commitment is, well, it's just staggering. Italy's national rail group is pouring 20 billion euros into a digital and technological transformation that's going to run all the way to 2034. This isn't just a simple upgrade, it's a complete reimagining of how the country moves.
So, what does that kind of money actually buy? A total high-tech overhaul. We're talking about a brand new European signaling system to make trains safer and faster. The infrastructure itself is going to become smart, with sensors that can predict problems before they even happen. Plus, there's a huge push for sustainability, with new hydrogen and hybrid trains. And for you, the passenger, it just means a smoother, more connected ride.
But building for tomorrow isn't just about concrete and steel. Italy is also pioneering a pretty radical new legal idea. It's about making a binding promise to generations that haven't even been born yet.
So what this means is that from now on, every single new law proposed in Italy has to pass a test, a formal evaluation of its impact on future generations. Think of it this way. If a law offers a short-term tax cut, this assessment forces lawmakers to actually calculate the long-term debt it might place on someone born in, say, 2050. I mean, think about that. It's a fundamental shift in how you make policy, forcing a perspective that goes way beyond the next election.
Now, this whole theme of future-focused change isn't just happening at the national level with these huge projects. No, it's also unfolding on a much more personal scale, inside the Italian home.
I just love this quote. It perfectly captures how individual choices are adding up to a massive shift, especially when you look at energy. Italians are quietly rewiring their relationship with power and efficiency, right from their own homes.
And the numbers here are pretty incredible. Almost 80% of Italian homes now use autonomous heating systems. This means that in just a few years, people have overwhelmingly moved away from old, inefficient, centralized building systems to managing their own heating. It's a huge move towards efficiency, control, and embracing new tech like heat pumps. This grassroots change also extends to how Italians and tourists are choosing to spend their downtime. Get this, there's been a staggering 52% year-over-year jump in online searches for Italy's small historic towns, the ones they call borghi.
And this isn't just some minor trend. Look at these numbers. Towns like Otranto and Maratea are pulling in hundreds of thousands of searches every single month. It shows this deep desire to escape the crowded tourist traps and connect with something more authentic, a slower and more local vision of Italy.
Okay, now for our third theme, and this is where things get really complex. Italy is home to a fascinating contradiction when it comes to work and retirement. It's a paradox that actually reveals some of the deep structural challenges the country is facing.
So here's the puzzle. On the one hand, Italy's official retirement age is on track to hit 70, which would be one of the highest in Europe. But on the other hand, the average number of years an Italian actually spends in the workforce is just 33. That's nearly the lowest in the entire EU. So, how can both of those things be true at the same time?
And this chart really just drives the point home. You can see how significant that gap is. Italy is lagging way behind countries like Sweden, and it's well below the EU average. This isn't just some statistical quirk. It points to some very specific issues in the Italian labor market.
So what's going on here? Well, it's a complicated mix. People tend to start their careers late after long university studies. They often face unstable temporary jobs, and a big chunk of the economy is underground, so it goes unrecorded. Plus, even with that high official retirement age, early exit options are still pretty common. And on top of all that, Italy has Europe's widest gender gap in working years. The result is immense pressure on the pension system and a real risk of economic stagnation.
So that brings us to our final section, where all these threads of change kind of come together in a new definition of Italian excellence. You know, made in Italy used to just mean fashion, cars, and food. Today, that brand is expanding in some incredible new directions, blending innovation with a deep sense of social responsibility.
Just take the sports industry. It's a perfect example. We're seeing eco-efficient stadiums, high-tech materials for equipment, and a huge emphasis on sustainability. Something like 60% of top sports companies have green initiatives. But it's also about social impact, with programs focused on inclusion and helping young people. It's performance with a purpose.
And this same spirit of really thoughtful design is showing up in travel. Trenitalia is introducing a new Intercity Kids section on its trains. It's not just a play area, it's a carefully designed experience. Kids can learn about geography on an interactive map, play a recycling game, and all the content is designed to be dyslexia-friendly. This is innovation that's really rooted in care.
And that sense of care is maybe most powerfully expressed right here. 4,642. That was the number of organ transplants performed in Italy in a single year. It's a record high and a testament to an incredibly robust and successful national system.
Ultimately, this isn't just a medical achievement. It's a story about society. The success of Italy's transplant network reflects this deep-seated culture of solidarity and a system that's built on coordination and a shared purpose. You could say it's a modern form of made in Italy excellence, focused on saving lives.
So, when we put it all together, what do we see? We see an Italy that's planning for the very long term while also changing from the ground up. It's a country that's facing some deep structural challenges, but it's also innovating with a powerful sense of care and social conscience. It's a nation in full transition.
And this leaves us with one final question. Italy's story is unique, of course, but the challenges it's facing, from sustainability to intergenerational fairness, those are universal. So as this nation navigates its complex path forward, maybe its blend of ambitious vision and human-centered innovation offers some lessons for all of us.